Now I'll be predicting AFC South. Um, so I think the Titans are the best team. They have a fairly complete roster. They lost some good players, but they also gained Julio Jones. It's obviously a bad division overall. And then the Colts, the main question for them is quarterback, and it remains to be seen how good Carson Wentz is. He's the wild card. He's the player that will make or break the Colts this year. The $1 million question: how good will Carson Wentz be? Obviously, Frank Reich thinks with his guidance he can be a good player. He was with his guidance in Philadelphia. I think he's washed up. He's injured beyond repair. This is my opinion, but we'll see what happens. It all comes down to Carson Wentz. And then the Jaguars are on their way up. They certainly couldn't be any worse. I think Trevor Lawerence is legit, so does almost everyone. They still have a lot of question marks. I don't like their head coach. I think he's going to fail in the NFL. I don't like the decision he's made already. And the Texans are obviously, I actually think they're deliberately trying to lose to make sure they get the number 1 overall pick. That's the reason why specifically they traded away by far their best cornerback on the roster to the Saints, from my understanding, not much in return, because he could cause them to win games. They want to make sure they tank. I don't think they're allowed to deliberately lose if the league finds out they can be penalized, but what they can do is deplete the team of talent to make it almost impossible to win. I think that's what they're doing. So the Texans I think they're trying to get the number 1 overall pick. I think the only 2 teams that are going to be contenders this year, unless Trevor Lawerence and the new head coach just blows everyone out of the water, which I wouldn't count on, the only 2 teams that are serious are going to be the Titans and the Colts. The Titans are the most steady because we already know how good their starters are. We already know how good Julio Jones is. And then the Colts, it comes down to how good will Carson Wentz be in the new system. I think that the Titans are going to be the safest bet for winners of AFC South. And then the Colts, depending on how good Carson Wentz will be. The Jaguars could be on their way up, but I don't think much of the new head coach. There's no question that Trevor Lawerence is good. And then the Texans are just deliberately trying to get the number 1 overall pick, and they will probably get it. The Texans roster is so bad that it's possible that they'll lose every single one of their games, which has happened before. I think the Browns have lost all their games before, but this will be the first time in the season where each team plays 17 games. It is the first season where teams play 17 games anyway, but I think the Texans will be the first team in the new 17-game season where a team actually loses every single one of their games. I actually think that the Texans are that bad. So that's it. That's my prediction.